Assalamu alaikum, dear students. It is 10th of June 2021, Thursday. Dear students, as you know, we are discussing the agencies of education. We have discussed formal, informal agency of education, and we will discuss in the coming lectures non-formal agencies of education also. Dear students, some of the informal education agencies of education include radio and television and press. These also come under the informal agencies of education, and today we are going to discuss, and we will discuss these informal agencies of education like radio and television and press in detail. Today I have decided to discuss radio as an agency of education, as an informal agency of education. बच्चों, जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, हम मुख्तलिफ़ तरीक़ों से अपनी जो मालूमात हैं उनमें इजाफ़ा करते हैं, सीखते हैं, और हम अखबारात से सीखते हैं, रेडियो से सीखते हैं, टेलीविज़न से सीखते हैं. बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम रेडियो और टेलीविज़न पे आते हैं जिनसे हमारी मालूमात में इजाफ़ा होता है. हम सीखते हैं, तालीम के हवाले से हम बहुत कुछ हासिल करते हैं. ये जो रेडियो है और टेलीविज़न है या प्रेस है, इन चीज़ों का बहुत बड़ा रोल है हमारी तालीम में. जहाँ तक हमारी तालीम का ताल्लुक़ है, इन चीज़ों से हमारी तालीम में जो है काफ़ी सारा मदद मिलता है, और हम सीखते हैं. मुख्तलिफ़ मज़ामीन जो है वो हम रेडियो और टेलीविज़न या प्रेस के ज़रिए से हम तक पहुंचती है, हम सीखते हैं, हमें पता चलता है. जो ख़ासकर जो नई नई चीज़ें जो दुनिया में होती हैं, तहक़ीक़ात जो डिस्कवरीज़ होती हैं, जो दरियाफ़तें होते हैं, जो इन्वेंशंस होते हैं, ईजादात होती हैं, इन सब का हमें जो है इल्म या मालूमात वो हमें इन चीज़ों से मिलती है. तो आज हम पढ़ेंगे ये जो रेडियो है, ये एक इनफॉर्मल एजेंसी ऑफ एजुकेशन है. इसका क्या रोल है, कैसे हम किस तरह से हमारी तालीम या हमारी मालूमात में ये इजाफ़ा करती है. हमारी जो तालीम है इसमें ये किस तरह हमारी मदद करते हैं. तो हम आज हमारा टॉपिक जो रहेगा वो रहेगा कि रेडियो एज एन एजेंसी ऑफ एजुकेशन. डियर स्टूडेंट्स, the radio is a great medium of communication. It has social, educative, and moral values. The people who give programs on the radio, music, speech, discussions, dramatic hints, are people who enjoy our respect and have prestige with us. The radio is being increasingly used nowadays as a valuable auditory aid and supplement to classroom instructions. You must be knowing that today, nowadays, the lectures, the lessons are taught on radio. A definite program is published. Periods are time is given to different periods, different classes. During this pandemic, radio has played a very great role in the education, in providing education to our students. On daily basis, classes are being conducted. Teachers teach students through radio and television. The students, the advantages of radio, according to one of the famous educationists, it is Jean Rowntree. He says, radio can do a great many things which are impossible to other forms of education. For example, it can move in time and space and make its point from drama and documentary. It can call in the first rate mind and unique experience. It need not be bound, through it often is, by the walls of studio. With the help of the tape recorder or the camera, it can make its listeners into the factory. It can take its listeners into the factory, the coal mine, or the Antarctic. It can gather rich material from people who could have never written it down. It has the attractiveness of a medium which depends on personality. For whatever the intention of a talk, to persuade, to inform, or to entertain, as its starting points is man's voice, and his personality is evident not only from his choice of words but from the fact that the man who wrote them is also speaking them. Dear students, the advantages of radio as an agency of education are many. We will discuss some of the advantages of radio as an agency of education. Dear students, number one is it conquers time and space. Radio as an informal agency of education can be very useful because it can reach the masses, conquering the barrier of space and time. Through the medium of radio, illiterate people can learn and know about many useful things of life. Dear students, cultural development. So far as the cultural development is concerned, through the medium of radio, it is possible to awaken people culturally and help them to develop their aesthetic sensibilities. Radio has broadened the outlook of people in regard to religion and culture because it brings to its listeners such information as help us in removing numerous types of prejudices. The student's emotional and intellectual development of a student is possible by radio. The radio programs help in the emotional and intellectual development of children. It gives the children a sense of rhythm and balance, a feeling for control of voice and grace of speech. It also provides such education as develops their aesthetic sensibilities. Dear students, classroom instructions and radio. Recently, efforts have been made to bring the radio into the classroom with a view to providing students lessons and talks from experienced and well-known people. As a matter of fact, the school broadcasting has become an essential feature in many of the modern countries of the world. The All India Radio and Radio Kashmir, Jammu, has school broadcasting programs. These programs presented include useful talks, dramas, and discussions of literary, scientific, geographical, and historical values. These are specially planned and written by teachers and educationists. Dear students, radio causes no fatigue. Radio causes no fatigue. Another advantage of broadcasting is that we listen to talks and lectures without any exertion, sitting comfortably at our home. There are courses of lectures for school children, university students, and the general public. There are recitations of poems, dramatic features, light literary tidbits which arouse the interest of the audience in literature. The students' radio help us in adult education also. The value of the radio as a means of social or adult education cannot be overestimated. Even the grown-up people who are quite illiterate can get general information and knowledge through the radio talks specially meant for them. This use of radio is all the more necessary for a country like India, where the percentage of literacy is very low. Radio sets are provided in India, a sort of university in the air can be created. For a vital living democracy, we need people who have not lost the power of free, honest, and objective criticism. The radio can play a significant role in achieving this. Dear students, radio helps us in teaching of social science. Social sciences like history, economics, and political science can be easily taught through the medium of radio. Lessons of social science prepared by the experts in their respective fields, when broadcasted over radio, generate much interest among students. Such lessons break the formal discipline of our four walls of the school. Some events are presented with musical tune which sinks well in the minds of the listeners. Moreover, cause and effect relationship is best explained through various examples over the radio. Moreover, radio brings sense of oneness among the listeners. It brings the situation prevalent at the time of event before the eyes of the listeners, who feels a sense of participation. In short, radio helps a lot in teaching social sciences. Dear students, radio also supplements classroom teaching. Radio supplements classroom teaching by providing up-to-date knowledge through radio programs. It brings change and variety in the otherwise dull and monotonous atmosphere of the classroom. Dear students, I hope you would have understood the role of radio in the education, in educating our children. And nowadays, the role of radio has much increased. Keeping in view the present situation, you must be knowing that programs, that lessons, or different subjects are being taught nowadays on radio. So that, because schools are closed due to pandemic, the radio, television, and press and other means are being used to impart education to our children, so that our children can continue their studies. And today the role of teacher, this radio and television and other this press is very much increased, and we must take it as a blessing, so that we can, because it is the only means for us nowadays to be attached with our studies. I hope you will have understood today's topic well. Tomorrow I will be with you with some other topic. Till then, bye. Assalamu alaikum.